go with the extinction segment. This is the first topic. Okay, and here it is. Fellow says, nationalism is a religion. Okay, yeah, I said that the other day. He agrees, okay? But just because it is a religion does not mean that we can't feel the way that we do or advocate for the people who we love, okay? I don't like seeing people who look like me and think like me get disempowered. So I'm going to resist the changes that are causing this to happen. Yeah, I guess we were referring primarily to the war in Ukraine and whether you should take sides, that sort of thing. This is because I love the people who I believe to be disempowered or because it is in my interests. And let me tell you, I feel for him because I used to be like that myself a long time ago. Fortunately, I came out of it. My grandmother one day told me, never, never get into politics. And I did. In fact, I got into politics at a very early age. I was about 15 when I started taking a big interest in politics, would read the newspaper every day, and eventually got into communism in my 20s, early 20s, and that lasted till I was about 36. So it lasted from 15 to 36, we're talking about 21 years. Took me to realize what politics is about. Slow learner, okay? Took me more to get out of atheism. Used to be an atheist. I came out of an atheist home. You know, we talked atheism every day at home, Bible study, and it took me a while to get out of that one as well. I had to think those things over. So yeah, it takes a long time. And all I can tell this fellow is that, you know, there's very little you can do about stuff out there. You know, one thing is like me, I got involved. Okay, got involved in politics, actively, you know, involved. That's different than when you are at home, you know, and just watching TV, reading the news, and getting all excited for something that happens on the other side of the world. And you get excited and you take sides, and say, this is wrong, this is right, and this, you know, and you get all excited about it. Maybe you don't even sleep at nights. My recommendation for all those feelings is, you know, you want to solve the world's problem, very easy. Turn the damn TV off. Turn the radio off. Don't read the news. You'll solve all the world's problems. That is the solution. Okay, so here are some situations here. I want to see if this fellow can recommend something to me. You know, he feels for people out there. He wants to get involved. He wants to vote maybe, you know, for a different candidate. Okay, and so here it is. Okay, we have on the top, we have Armenia fighting against Azerbaijan. Okay, and they're fighting for that little orange area there that you see. It's called Nagorno-Karabakh. Okay, so which side should you take? The one with the half moon, the quarter moon there on the right, the green ones, or should you go with the blue and red ones on the left? And how about the one on the bottom? You got the Saudis, the ones on the right, with all those cannons, all that good hardware. And the guys on the left are the Houthis. Houthis people, okay? Yeah, the Houthis. And so they're fighting Saudi Arabia in Yemen. And that's what you see there, that map there. So who should I take sides with there? I mean, should I be with the Shiites or with the Sunnis? I mean, what do you think is a better bet? Or who do you think is in the right? Because we're talking here about, you know, you're going to take the right side. And the right side, not always the winning side, apparently, right? It's a side that, you know, deserves to be backed. And, you know, there's always two sides to all these things. And people take sides immediately for stuff that doesn't even involve them. It's on the other side of the planet. You don't even know where it is. And you say, that's wrong. You know, I want to get involved and maybe even pitch money, maybe vote if you can or whatever. You know, and another thing is if you go personally and, you know, you get a weapon, you start killing people, it was on the other side. Turns out that, you know, your brother's fighting on the other side, like in Ukraine. And, you know, maybe he was recruited by the Russian government and sent to the front. He doesn't agree maybe, but he's forced to go to the front because he's a soldier and they put him a gun in his hands, go fight. And you go on the other side because you don't agree with the Russians, or you go on the Ukrainian side, you go with a gun, you kill your own brother. Great. So look at some of those situations. It's easy to take sides, especially from far away, and, you know, kind of eat popcorn while you watch the game, you know. Another thing is to get involved, and then should you get involved anyways? Does it concern you? You know, so this is all I can tell you. My grandmother said, never get into politics, and I did. Okay, she was right. It just took me a long time to figure that out. Okay, here's another situation. Here you have the Israelites, and they're fighting the Palestinians. And whose side should you take there? I mean, maybe the Palestinians are guerrillas, they're terrorists. Maybe the other guys are abusing with their apartheid. Whose side should you take? Does it concern you? Are you, a Jew, or are you a Palestinian? Whose side should you take? And this war's been going on at least, I would say since the Balfour Declaration, Lord Balfour there, 1917. They started allowing Jews to have their homeland. And I guess that's when the whole mess started. It got worse in 1948 when Israel became an official country. And little by little, they've been expanding and pushing the Arabs out. A lot of people say it's a United States fifth column. That's all Israel is. And the other guys on the other side, they throw stones at the tanks. You say, yeah, that's what they should do, And so if the kid, a 13-year-old kid throwing a rock, he gets shot, killed, are you going to grab the stone and throw it, and you throw it at the at the tank? Is that what you want to do if you're on the Palestinian side? Okay, and so here we arrive at the Ukraine war. Here we have Bugs Moran against Al Capone. Okay, whose side should you take? Should you go with the blue side or the red side? Okay. Well, I don't know. Again, maybe you might be killing your brother over there. You got people there who are in that war that don't want to be in that war. They're forced to be there. And probably, at least, I would think, maybe the majority, or at least I would say half of them, don't even want to be in there. Especially, it's easy to say it when you're at home, but when you see those bombs just flying close to your ear, you think a little differently, So you got to be in that place. And the question is, what's it to you? And what I mean by that is whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyways, with or without you. That's what I mean. So that, for you to get excited for something that happens on the other side of the world and that you have no control over actually as an individual, don't get involved in politics unless you're going to be a politician. I mean, if it's your career, that's different. But, and you go up the ranks in a party, a political party. Well, yeah, make money and influence people and change the laws. Yeah, that's great. But if you're just a passive, guy who's at home watching the TV and you get all excited for the stuff that happens in other parts of the world, just turn the TV off. You'll be okay. You'll solve all the world's problems. Okay, and here's another side to that. Okay, fella says the following. He says, I have money in Raytheon, so I will benefit from a nuclear war. Does anyone want to buy my position? And I don't know if he's talking seriously or not, but he's got a point there. There's a lot of people who are making profits. And this is not a secret. This is not new anyway. It's always happened. People profit from wars, and so keep that in mind. And in fact, here, let me rub that in a little bit. Here's one bit of news that came out this week concerning this, right? Trump blasts Biden over tanks for Ukraine and calls for an end to crazy war to repel Russian invasion. Why did he do that? Well, as President Biden has led the push to help Kyiv, Trump and his MAGA allies have repeatedly demanded the U.S. stop spending big bucks, right, to help the embattled nation. And there you have a representative echoed Trump's remarks, calling aid to Ukraine a corrupt slash fund without elaborating. In other words, here you might be helping corruption if you send your money over, if you fight for this cause, whichever side you're on, doesn't matter. You may be fighting for someone else who's going to profit from it. and you're just a sucker who's doing the work for them, because of your ideals. Right? And here's the final pitch on that one, and that's that Zelensky sacks more than a dozen top officials amid allegations of corruption in Ukraine. And what were they doing? They were accepting bribes. Okay, so you send these tanks, that's also famous, the $500 hammers they sell the army. And they sell these tanks, all this hardware that costs a lot of money to build, and they just give it away kind of, or put it on the tab, And these people on the other side, you got corrupt officials who, say, hey, I can make money out of all this. And they're not fighting the war. They're not the soldiers on the line. They're the guys, in their homes, their mansions, and they're making money. And here you're fighting, you're rooting for the people who are going to win. And it's not going to be the soldier who died. It's going to be the guy who has the power over there in the government. So in a way, who are you fighting for? So think about all this when you take sides. Who benefits from you taking sides? Okay? Fellow says he doesn't believe in nuclear weapons. He says the following. He says, Hiroshima and Nagasaki show that you also do not know what you are talking about and buy into the hype about nuclear war. Because I was talking about the possibility that, they could, Ukraine war could lead to a nuclear exchange, right? And I'm saying that once they press one red button, they're going to press all the red buttons. I don't think that you can stop that. Okay. Anyway, it says the science says both cities should have been uninhabitable for 1,000 years after nuclear war. Yes. Yet their population doubled in 20 years after being nuked. Hiroshima now has 9 times its 1945 population of 137,000 to today's 1.2 million. Okay. How about Chernobyl, Bikini Island? Both of these places are full of life like never before. Your fear of nukes ending humanity is baseless. Okay, all I can tell you is that, first of all, I don't think nukes are going to end the world. If anything, nukes are going to be part of the process. And that's likely at the end. They might press the red button when they don't care anymore about anything. It could happen. But that's not the cause. The cause is going to be the overturning of the population, of the ecological pyramid, meaning that no one's going to produce food. And it won't matter how much money you have, there won't be food to buy. Whoever's got food is going to keep it, hide it, and there's going to be a killing of not Chinese against Americans or Russians against South Americans. No, it's going to be your neighbor. That's the guy you're going to fear wherever you're at. That's the guy who's going to come after you. Okay, local people. And then the other issue is, some people don't believe that there are nukes out there and that we've ever thrown nukes, killed people, and so on. This guy was talking about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay. And here are some pictures, and I guess he doesn't believe that this ever happened, Here you see him. Here's the Enola Gay, the airplane that took the bomb down there to Japan. Okay, they dropped it over Hiroshima the first time, second time over Nagasaki a few days later. Okay, they bombed the hell out of people, and the first one there was not the original shot, but this one is. This is the only one that survived from what happened that day. Okay, and then here you have another vision of what came after. This is what was left. Okay, you can see the pictures, and this fellow believes this was probably made in Hollywood. All of this, here you have some Japanese just going to work a few days later, and he says, well, no one should have survived. There should have been zip amount of people there, and you can see that they're walking, and this is the city that was left after they bombed Hiroshima. Okay, so just keep in mind these are part of the historical record of what actually happened in those days. But this guy doesn't believe it. He thinks that all of this was probably made in Hollywood, just propaganda. Maybe they got some actors to walk there and whatever. And he doesn't realize that he's got the solution in his own hands. He says, look, there's Chernobyl, and there's Bikini Island and so on, the Bikini Atoll there. And yeah, people survive and live in those places. And so maybe it's the other way around. It's not like he thinks that everybody should be wiped out and no one can live there for 1,000 years. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe after the bomb is thrown, some people can live there. Okay, so keep that in mind. Maybe it's not like you think it is. Okay. So I've been to Alamogordo in New Mexico. I went in that region many times, going through Las Cruces and other places there. And hopefully I don't get cancer. I'm going through from the site where they threw the first nuke in 1945. So I don't know what to tell you, guy, but no, if it were true what you say that nobody can live there anymore for 1,000 years. We're all in trouble already because they've thrown some nukes even within the United States. So anyone who lives nearby there, I guess, should look at his cancer, his radiation, all that stuff. Not necessarily so. Okay, and so here are some of the images from some of the survivors over there. You can see this guy's ears, if he's got ears left. Okay, and this is a woman. Her clothes got stuck to her skin so that it just penetrated and marked her. You can see some of the consequences of the radiation. And this guy probably believes this is just, all faked, all done in for propaganda purposes of some kind. And I don't know what to tell him. It's like those people who say, well, if I didn't go to the moon myself, I don't believe that anyone went. And so they don't believe that humans went to the moon because I have no way of verifying that and I haven't gone there, so it's all a hoax. Okay, what can I tell you? And in another issue, I found out today, in fact, and it's a law that was passed about 6 months ago, and I was not aware of it in Japan, okay? And it was because a girl took the ultimate decision, okay, wrestler, and her fans or enemies, I guess, said a lot of bad things about her, and so she took the ultimate decision. And because of that, they're going to stop people from saying bad things on the internet. Okay, and so this is it. It says Japan passes bill making online insults punishable by jail time in wake of terrace house star's death. Okay, so this girl did the ultimate. She was only 21 or 22 years old, and now that we have laws that say be careful what you say on the internet. And so I'm going to tell all the people who come to this channel, be careful what you say about me, okay? Because I might do the ultimate too, and you're going to be in trouble. So watch out what you say about my mother, okay?